It's a big experiment. It's a big experiment. Okay, so let's see if it's going live here. Okay, I did that. I did that. Is it connecting? Mm-hmm. It's going to take a little time. I think I did do that. Not sure why it's not doing that. Thought I connected it. Did I do that? Did we connect? Thought we connected. Mm-hmm. We are connect. Is it not going through? For some reason, it's not going through live on the Facebook. I don't know why. I did connect it. I did it before. I must have done something wrong. All right, I'm going to start. For some reason, it's not connecting to the Facebook group, but I will send this to the Facebook group. Not sure what I did wrong here. Okay. Won't let me do that. Okay. I'm going to go right here. So hi, everybody. This is Rita. For some reason, it won't let me go live in the Facebook group. I thought I did everything right, but I will see if it's going live anywhere else. Maybe I am live on my page. Oh, here I am. Okay, so I'm live on my page. Hi, how is everyone doing? I'm not sure how to check anything. It didn't go live in the group for whatever reason, but I'm just going to go with it and go forward, and then I'll copy it into the group. So I'm sorry if you're missing any of this. Okay, so I'm just going to start. So welcome, everybody. I just wanted to do a live about the holidays, and then I realized that we had an election and people were having a lot of feelings about it, and I wanted to do something supportive for whatever you're feeling right now around the holidays, around the election, about the state of the world, whatever's going, state of your family, whatever's going on. So I have some questions that originally were just for the holidays, but I think you could take a lot of these questions and apply them to whatever's going on with you, whatever feelings you're having and whatever circumstances you are going through. So, okay. So the first question, so get out a piece of paper if you don't have one. And here is the first question. And obviously you can go back and watch this because it's going to be recorded on Facebook. So the first question I have for you is, how do you want this time to be like? Whether it's the holidays or this week or this day or this moment, how do you want it to be? And that's an important question to ask, because a lot of times we don't ask ourselves what we want. We just notice that we're not getting what we want, and then we're upset. And that's fine. You get to feel whatever you want to feel. But sometimes it can be really powerful to just ask, what do I want? What do I want the holidays to be? What do I want this moment to be? And it doesn't mean you're going to get it. It allows you to clarify what you're wanting. Excuse me. So write down, what do you want this time to be like for you? And it could be a feeling, it could be a circumstance. It may be a very realistic circumstance, or it may be very unrealistic, like trying to change the past or something like that. Okay. And I'm going to be checking Facebook to see if there are any questions. Okay. So the next question, are you ready, is what do you need for this time, whether it's the holiday season or this moment or this week? What do you need to be and feel better, to feel easier, to feel more relaxing? Maybe even to have more fun, if we're talking about the larger holiday season, for instance. What do you need? Another great question that people often don't ask themselves that's really helpful. And I'm just going to check my group again to see if anything hooked up. Did it hook up? I don't think. Oh, it did hook up. Okay. Okay, it did finally connect. So I'm just going to repeat really quick. Everyone in the group, this is Rita, and today was really about asking yourself some powerful questions to have a more enjoyable, more peaceful holiday season. And I was saying before that I realized, kind of after the fact, that we just had this big election, this big decision in our country, and people are having a lot of different feelings about it. So if you want to feel differently about what's going on right now, this is maybe some questions you can ask yourself. And the first question I asked was, what do you want? What do you want? And the reason that you ask that question is just to be cognizant of what you want, whether you get it or not. And then the next question I had, because I'm kind of catching up with everyone else, is what do you need? That's another one moms especially don't ask themselves. What do you need right now for this time or this season to be more relaxing, easier for you, more restful, maybe even more fun? So that's as far as we got before the Facebook live stream came up. So just write answers to those questions. What do you want? What do you need? Be really honest here. Don't hold back from yourself. I think that's one of the things women often do. They want to put down the right answer versus what they're really feeling inside. It's okay. It could be, I really need, just for my kids to be quiet for a little bit, or I really need distance from my spouse, or I really need a bubble bath, or I really need to scream, whatever it is. And give yourself what you need. Give yourself what you need as much as it's possible. That's the second thing we often do. We talk about what we need, but we don't give ourselves what we need. So this is my permission slip to you to give yourself what you need. Okay, so the rest are more detailed questions that play off what you need and what you want. And this is for the holiday season or this week or this moment. Okay, in terms of the holiday season, right? Do you want it or need it to be less active or more active? So what I mean by that is a lot of times during the holiday season, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's a lot of parties, a lot of gatherings. And some people love that. That's what they live for. And other people kind of do it, but don't enjoy it. It's not what they really want or they need. And that's okay. But be honest with yourself. Do you want or need to be less active right now or more active, more festive, more with people, or less active, more maybe by yourself or quiet? So think about that one. Write the question down, see what comes up for you. And by the way, you may not get it this year, but maybe these are good things to know for next year or next week or the next moment, so that you have an idea in your mind and you're more likely to be able to create that. So the next question is, do you want or need less responsibility? Or do you want to travel or not travel? That was a big one for me, being in a relationship where we often traveled for the holidays. In fact, this holiday we're traveling again outside the country. And it was really hard sometimes for me to admit that sometimes I didn't want to travel. And I had to come up with ways to deal with that. Next question. Do you want less gifts or more gifts? Some people's love language is gifts. They love the gifts. They love buying the gifts or making the gifts, giving the gifts and receiving the gifts. Great. Have more of that in your life. But for some people, that's not my love language. I would love to eliminate gifts altogether. I don't particularly enjoy buying a lot of gifts. I kind of have I tell my kids to give me a list. So all I have to do is order, make it easier. So it could be also that. Maybe you would like gifts, but maybe you want it to be done in a way that is easier for you and you're not running out the last minute, or feeling guilty because you didn't get the right thing, or feeling like it's just one more thing on your list. What do you want? For me, it was one year, I didn't want to buy a lot of material things, so I wrote everyone a letter. Everyone in my immediate family who was going to be together, I wrote them a love note. And I obviously did it all before, because it takes time to write love notes. And I've noticed some people still have them, and they really cherish them. And to me, that was a better gift than a thing, just for me. So do you want less gifts, more gifts? How do you want the gift stuff to go? What kind of gifts? Another great gift is, like a coupon for a back rub. So if your love language or the other person's love language is an act of service, maybe that's what you give them. I'm going to, make you dinner, or I'm going to give you a back rub, or I'm going to sing you a song, whatever it is. And ask a question if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you. And then with each one of these questions where it's a want, I want you to also ask, what do you need? Do you need it to be less active? Do you need it to be less hustle and bustle? Do you need it to be more gifts or less gifts? And just see what comes up. Next question. Do you need more rest? This is another one that I hear from moms all the time. Always sleep deprived, rest deprived, no downtime in your day, and it just gets all ramped up during the holiday season. And especially now, if you're feeling the effects of the election and how, you have a lot of big feelings about it, it affects your rest even more, and you probably need even more rest. Next question. Do you want and need small groups or large groups or no groups? So I love the small group. I have been working on like a monthly group of women. It's a small group. We get together for dinner and we just chit chat once a month and catch up. I love the small group. I'm okay with a larger group, but I really prefer a smaller group because we get into those conversations. It's not too stimulating for me. So what's your preference? And then how are you going to create that this holiday? I tell you, once you know what you want and you need, you can then take action on it, and it's much more likely to happen. Ready for the next question? Okay. How can you create more events with people you really enjoy and less with those you feel are not so enjoyable? Maybe they're difficult or challenging. Is that something that you want? I'm not saying just avoid people altogether. Maybe in your family, that's what it's going to take. But be honest with, is that get together with that, brother-in-law really horrible, especially now? Is that going to be something you really don't want? Why don't you want it? And how can you support yourself if you've already made the plan, for instance? You can't get out of it for whatever reason. How can you support yourself? Planning helps. This is the whole point of this, is to know what you want and need, and then to be able to take action to plan it so it's more likely to happen. What I've found is that when I know what I want and I need, and I can plan accordingly, even if I obviously can't control everything, and there's some things you just need to be at, for whatever reason, I'm more likely to take care of myself. Sometimes I'm really surprised about how well it's gone. Like I was kind of like intention, like, oh, this is not going to be fun. And then it turns out to be fine. But I have those strategies in my back pocket so that if I need them, I can use them. For instance, taking a break, taking a stroll outside when you need to get away from the group, putting your focus on people that you find more enjoyable, practicing patience with that person who maybe is a little more challenging, having an exit strategy. Maybe it's like a word or a signal with your spouse that it's time to go. I've used that one as well. Get it out on paper. All right, you ready for the next question? I'm just checking in. Okay, next question. Are there things you need to hear from others this holiday season? Are there things you need to hear from others? Like, thank you, or you need answers from people. Like, there's sometimes I've found for moms, they're like planning and they're not hearing from people. Are you coming? Are you not coming? And it causes a lot of stress. There's nothing wrong with saying, I need a head count. I'm planning. Or I need to have a sit down with somebody that I need to hear that they support me, or that they still love me, or whatever it is. What do you need to hear? Or I've got your back. Or I'm so sorry you're suffering. And then whatever you need to hear from others, you can request it, you can't force it. So you have to also be able to give it to yourself. What do you need to hear for yourself? Say it to yourself. Maybe I've been known to have pre-parties with myself. Meaning, in my mind, I just sit and I visualize what I want to hear, and I give it to myself, like it's me congratulating me, giving myself a big hug. And then I can be with the people, and whether they say it or not, it's less important. And what happens is I have a much better time because I'm more relaxed. I'm not trying to get it out of them. Okay, next question. We kind of covered it, but I'm going to ask it again. Is how can you support yourself in times or situations where it's not all what you wanted or needed? How will you support yourself? This is big because, life is life, right? Sometimes things go the way you want. Sometimes they don't, as we all know. And that can be really hard. And it can bring up a lot of stuff. And it can feel so unfair. And it can feel like you're being punished, or you don't know what's going on, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So how can you support yourself? It could be, if you're in a group and you don't feel comfortable, you take a break. You just excuse yourself No one argues with you when you say, I need to use the restroom, right? And you need to go to the restroom, or I need to take a walk, or I need to do whatever. I need to check the kids. And you just pause and breathe and bring yourself back and ground yourself. You can also, if you're going to an event that you don't feel quite up to, but you're going to the event, you could decide not to go to the event. That's one thing, just, I can't make it. Thanks for inviting me. Or if you're at an event, you can say when you need to go. You can have a plan where you say, I can come for an hour. I can come for a half hour. I can drop by. Right? It's time to go. You can have a signal with your spouse. It's time to get out of here. All right. Whatever that word is, right? Where it's time to go. It's really okay. And so a lot of times I feel like moms are weighing, or women in general are weighing, do I abandon myself and stay so that no one has a feeling about it? Or do I go when I want to go and then I have to deal with people's feelings about it? I'm telling you, I've experienced both, and really betraying myself over time is not sustainable. It doesn't help you. It can make you sick, and it makes you not really like yourself. So for me, I got to the point where I was just like, I'm willing to knuckle through other people's feelings around it and give myself what I need. And the first couple times I did that, it was kind of scary, and I felt guilt and maybe even shame. And I was like, oh my God, what's the text? What's the email? What's the thing? And then after a while, I realized loving myself and giving myself what I need in the moment really is more important than whatever the effect is. You have to kind of measure it for you. And then it was easy to kind of deal with people's reactions to you doing something different. You have to weigh it. But for me, I realized that I was stronger than I thought, and then I can deal with it differently. And sometimes people didn't give me, crap about it, frankly. They didn't. Or I didn't care. Or they stopped after a while. So the bottom line here is see what's possible for you. Really just get clear on what you want and you need, whether it's right now, today, this week, this month, this season. Give yourself what you need. And because you can't control it all, because no one can, come up with a plan, maybe a couple steps where you're supporting yourself, whether it's giving yourself a scope of time that you're going to be doing something, or having support from your friends or your spouse about when you're going to get out of there, or having a difficult conversation where you're doing something new and how you're going to take care of yourself after the conversation, whatever it is. And if you're having some strong feelings and you don't know what to do, please reach out to me. Please. This is what I do. I help women who are stressed in whatever capacity to have some strategies to deal with the stress, and then come up with a plan that is doable and powerful, and they can create what they want. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, just put them in, whether you're watching this now or watching it later. And I'd love to see what you come up with. I'm going to be trying to do a live every week on a particular topic, usually following what I'm posting to my email list. Right now it's about the holiday season, but you can adapt these to anything, any situation that you want. I hope this was helpful. Let me know how it was. And I hope that you ask for what you want and what you need right now, this week, this month, and the holiday season, so it can be a little easier for you. All right, take care. Bye.